is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to lockdown coverage, week number 1 in the National Football League. Carolina Panthers on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers. A game that I felt Carolina just needed to go in and take care of business. Didn't have to be cute, didn't need to be pretty, just needed to be a dub. And really, that's essentially what this was. They went out there, took care of business, leave with a W. And so we'll get into that, talk about the 49ers angle in all of this, and then prepare for Monday Night Football. So before we jump into the breakdown, though, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game over here, man. I want you to be a part of this movement, man. And it's getting big and bigger and bigger, and looking to do some big things. And I want you to be a part of that. So hit the subscribe button so you can become a part of the Louie T Network. I'm also on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Go ahead, give me a follow there so that you can be up on the latest and greatest with this channel. And also, I'm on Twitter or Instagram. It's with a Z _ me, Louie T. That's the IG handle. Give me a follow there as well. If you're in the comment section, want your voice to be heard, simply use the hashtag LouieTLive. I will read your comment at the end of this breakdown. So we're going to start with the Panthers. They were able to get it done 23-3 in this ball game. Really quality effort on just about every front for the Panthers. Nothing really stood out. I thought the defense was good. Not great. I've seen better from them. I thought they did do a good job of harassing Billy Ho. Horton was able to force a fumble on a hit. They continuously got pressure. They sacked him a ton of times, about 4 or 5 times in this game. They hit him another 3 or 4 times, which caused some errant throws. Luke Kuechly doing what he does best. That's a hell of a pick that he made, running out to try to get to where he needed to be in his zone drop. And he kind of overlaps the corner and the receiver who's running in the opposite direction. The football is slightly behind him. He jump turns, pivots in midair, snatches the football out of the air, picks it off, sets up more points for the Panthers. They were outstanding in that regard in terms of shutting off the faucet. I thought early on San Francisco had some success running the football. They turned that faucet off probably midpoint of the second quarter. There was no room to run any longer. Hyde actually had got off to a good start in the game, and then, like I said, they turned that faucet off. They got after Billy Ho, who had some success early on. Pierre Garçon was the one guy they couldn't stop throughout the entire game. He was the one guy that gave them fits. But outside of that, I thought this defense did what they needed to do, okay? I've seen them be more dominant than they were in this game, but the speed of this defense certainly looks like it's back, and they're starting to really get back to Carolina Panther football defensively. Now, not the greatest test in the world, the San Francisco 49ers in week 1. Things will ratchet up for this football team, and we will see them play better opponents, and we'll really get a sense for if they're back defensively or not. I've still got my questions about that secondary, and so we'll find out about that as we progress in this season. But they look good defensively. Offensively, there was a lot left to be desired. Cam Newton's not 100% healthy, and he was just out there being a presence because he missed a ton of throws. Ed Dixon can't be any more wide open than he was for a touchdown. Can't miss that. Not if you want to beat the Saints, not if you want to beat the Falcons, not if you want to beat the Bucs. You can't miss that throw. Got to hit that throw. That's got to be a touchdown. There were some opportunities for the 49ers in this game that they didn't take advantage of. Cam can't throw into double coverage. Boy, We're going to talk about Jaquiski Tart, but Cam can't throw in a double coverage like that. I know you got a 6'6" receiver. You want to allow him to go up and try to make a play, not in double coverage. Let's not do that. So there's some things that they can clean up on the offensive side of the football. Thought Jonathan Stewart looked good. It was good to see him out there because I didn't really know where he fit in to this new style of offense with McCaffrey and with Samuel coming in. It's still the same OJ Stu. He's still going to get his touches. McCaffrey is going to do his thing. I really should be asking is where does Curtis Samuel fit into all of this? He seems to be the odd man out. He seems to be the one not touching the football enough. So I guess as the season progresses, he will see the football more. He will kind of carve out a niche for himself. I don't think he's carved out one for himself quite yet in this offense. But nonetheless, Cam will get better. He'll become sharper. He'll get more and more comfortable with being back playing football. He plays too much. I know that. There was a play down by the end zone where if he was healthy, he probably would have scored. He would have turned the corner on that defender and probably dove and stretched the football over the pylon and got in. But, of course, him coming off of this surgery, kind of want to take it easy. He goes to try to turn the corner, realizes, I probably shouldn't do that. The defender hits him. He kind of jumps into the air. Defender clips his leg, kind of falls down a little awkwardly on the back shoulder region. Remember, he just had shoulder surgery. And then he lays down on the ground for a really long time. And I'm like, oh, hell. And then he gets up smiling. I said, man, you play too goddamn much. Stop with your nonsense, man. Gets up grinning from ear to ear as only Cam Newton can. Play too goddamn much. I know a lot of Panthers fans out there, their heart skipped a beat for a second because if they got to go to Derek Anderson, their season is done. And I've talked about teams who need to really take a hard, long look at their backup quarterback situation. The Panthers are one, especially with Cam Newton and the way that he plays the game. Injuries are going to occur. You got to have a better backup than Derek Anderson. I'm not going down that road. I've been down there enough times. Panthers fans have seen all they need to see. You can disagree with me. You can agree with me, whatever the case may be. Cam got up smiling. That's the gist of what I just said. But all in all, it wasn't his best performance. It didn't need to be. I've talked about teams that didn't look the sharpest in week one, but they still came away with the victory. I didn't think the Cowboys were that sharp offensively. They didn't need to be. The Giants were inept offensively. Same could kind of be said for the 49ers. I feel like the 49ers actually moved the ball way better than the Giants did on Sunday night, but that's nor here nor there. They couldn't score points. So the Panthers didn't need to be their sharpest on offense to get the win. They just needed to be careful with the football. They needed to be smart, and they needed to take advantage of opportunities. And the 49ers gave them opportunities. The 2 turnovers that the 49ers sustained in this game, 14 Panther points. The 2 failed 4th down conversions, 2 field goals. So the Panthers did exactly what they needed to do. They took advantage of opportunities. They did well enough on offense. They did what they needed to do on defense. They come away with a 23-3 victory. But I'm still looking for the receiver position to step up. I still feel like they're missing something there. Shepard, that was a nice little catch and spin and pirouette and run after catch into the end zone. But I feel like they still don't have that collective group of receivers that they had in 2015 when they made that epic run to the Super Bowl. I need to see this receiver group kind of step it up. And I haven't seen that yet. I didn't see it in the preseason. Obviously, Cam didn't play, so they still got to get on the same page. It's week one. I get it. I understand. There's time for all of that to manifest itself. But I'm just a little uneasy about the receiver position right now. But that being said, they got it done. As we move on to the 49ers side of things, and I thought it was a solid debut for Kyle Shanahan when looking at the circumstances, all considering. There's only but so much you can do with the amount of talent that they have. I think they've immensely upgraded the talent on this football team, which tells you just how bad they were a season ago from a talent standpoint under Chip Kelly. They're a much better football team right now. That being said, they can't afford to make the type of mistakes they made in this game and expect to win. Okay, Marquise Goodwin, you can't drop a potential touchdown or down inside the 5-yard line. You got the defender beat. It's a perfect throw. He couldn't have run up and handed it to you. He couldn't have breastfed you any better. They brought you to San Francisco to do one thing: take the top off the defense and catch the deep ball. That's all you were signed to do, and you dropped it. You want to beat the Panthers? Got to make that play. You want to be 2-14 again? Continue to drop the football. Reuben Foster, he left the game with an injury. Heard it's not as severe as feared initially, but going to miss at least 2 to 4 weeks. Pick 6. I know Cam Newton throws maybe the hardest fastball in the league, so I know it's a tough ask. I need you to catch that. I need you to make a play there and take it to the crib. Didn't do it. Can't have the turnovers. 2 turnovers, 14 points for the Panthers. 2 failed 4th down conversions, 2 field goals for the Panthers. That's your ball game. That's 20 points. That's your ball game. How many penalties? How many penalties did you have in this game? False starts, self-inflicted wounds. You're going to go for it on 4th and 1, and you can't get the play done in time and incur a delay of game? That's what losing teams do. Too many mistakes, too many self-inflicted wounds. I thought that this team did some really good things. Jaquiski Tart, my God. That play was epic. Damn, that was gorgeous. Woo! That young man has some talent. They've got talent on that team. Much like I've said about the Bears, much like I've said about the Browns. This 49ers team fits right into that same discussion of all of those teams that were in the top 3 of the draft last year, who were horrible record-wise, who didn't have a lot of talent last year. These teams have upgraded their talent base, and they're going to be in ball games this year because they have stuff. Now, how do you execute is going to determine whether you get blown out 23-3 or you're in the football game 13-6 with a chance to tie late in the 4th quarter. Because that's what this game could have been had you eliminated the mistakes. If you don't fumble the football at midfield, maybe the Panthers don't score a touchdown there. If you don't throw the pick to Luke Kuechly, maybe the Panthers don't score a touchdown there. The failed 4th down attempts, I can't be mad at you for being aggressive. You only gave up field goals after those. But to my larger point, you can't drop touchdowns, you can't drop pick sixes and expect to beat teams that are better than you. And on most weeks, you're going to play teams that are better than you. So you got to clean up the mistakes. You got to be better. And most importantly, you have to execute flawlessly. You didn't do that in this game. That's why you only came away with 3 points. You can't get down to the 1-yard line and not score. Got to execute. But in any event, Panthers get it done 23-3. I'm here to tell you that that wasn't that bad of a showing by the 49ers. I thought Billy Ho did some good things. Thought he missed some throws that were open. I thought George Kittle looked good. I thought a lot of the young guys looked good. I think you got out. Pierre Garçon is the truth. I love that guy. Wish he was still in D.C. He should have never been allowed to leave. But the 49ers paid him a boatload of money, more than the Redskins were going to pay him. And so I don't even know if they really wanted him back, but it's a mistake. We're going to miss him. That guy's a gamer. He's tough as nails. He's a competitor. Everything that we're lacking on our roster right now on the offensive side of football, Pierre Garçon is. And so we're going to miss him. He's a good get for them. And he's going to continue to make plays for them throughout the season. And he's going to give them a chance on the offensive side of the football. He's going to step up. I like Kittle. I like Carlos Hyde. You got some stuff. I like the Trent Taylor kid out of La Tech. So you got some stuff. We'll just see how you're able to put it all together and see how long it takes you to start executing the way that you did versus the Vikings in the 3rd preseason game, which will allow you to have a chance to win some games, or at least be in some games and have a shot to win. Panthers get it done, though, 23-3. Let's go to the comment section and see if there are any comments. Mr. T Money 1993 says, "Oh, you know I had to be here to support and talk. No doubt, man. Appreciate you coming through." He says, "I love Luke interview. He said film-wise, he knew Kyle has run that play versus him in Cleveland and Atlanta, so he sniffed him out. That was beautiful. It's like he knew what was coming. I mean, he ran literally to the spot, and the football just happened to be behind him, and he just turned in the air, did a little bit of a pirouette, pivoted in midair, snatched it out of the air. It was gorgeous. It's what we've come to expect out of a player the caliber of Luke Kuechly in this league. It's why he's one of the best in the business, because of plays like that. And when opportunities come, unlike Reuben Foster, he doesn't miss. And that's the difference between good football teams and teams who are trying to figure out how to win." Mr. T Money 1993 says, "Cam was rusty, not unhealthy. Tart play wasn't double coverage. He came across the play and made a great play." It was double coverage. It was one-on-one with safety help. So to me, in my mind's eye, that's double coverage. If you can get the football there before the safety comes over, then you beat the coverage and it's not double coverage. But if the safety helps and converges on the pass, to me, that's double coverage. That, again, man-to-man, covered. If it's cover two, if it's man two, it's double team. Okay, anything over the top, that safety has a half of the field. And if it's man two, that's double coverage. That's what that was. He came over the top. It might have been single high safety. Either way, he was there when the football got there. So either Cam didn't manipulate him with his eyes good enough to keep him away, or Cam put too much air on the football. Either way, that was a hell of a play by Jaquiski Tartt. And you say unhealthy, or I say unhealthy, you say rusty. He still doesn't look like the same Cam to me quite yet. And I think it's more of a mental thing than anything. So you may be right. It may be more of a rust. I think it's more of a mental block. When you're dealing with an injury, when you're coming off of surgery, you just want to make sure everything's okay. And so I think he's not ready to start taking shots. I don't think he's ready to run the rock the way that we know Cam to be able to run it. I don't think he's ready to put his body on the line. And he's not making some of the throws that I'm accustomed to seeing him make. So we can sit here and argue over unhealthy or just rust. At the end of the day, he didn't make the plays that I'm accustomed to seeing him make. So, and that you're accustomed to seeing him make as well. So we'll see. Mr. T Money 1993 says, "Curtis Samuel missed all the training camp with hamstring issues and got hurt versus Steelers with his ankle." Okay. So did he play in a game? I thought I heard his name called a couple of times. So I'm pretty sure he was in. He just isn't in sync with what they're doing, and they're not going to game plan for a guy that hasn't been in, is what I take and gather from that. You also said that after this preseason, I agree with you on DA. Took you long enough to come around. I've been telling you about DA for about 4 years now, and you argued with me tooth and nail for about 2 years. And I think that Monday night game against the Bucks, where he threw about 2 or 3 interceptions and you lost when Cam was out a couple years back, coupled with some more lackluster performances last year when Cam was out. And then I guess it finally took you to this preseason to realize that he's trash. But, hey, it is what it is. I'm just glad you finally came around. Mr. T Money 1993 says, "Reuben getting hurt was karma. All the Niners fans swore he was hurting C-Mac, and so C-Mac set him up to get killed." Niners fans been on Reuben Foster's jock since day one. I wanted to say something else, but I'm going to try to keep it PG-13. One of the dudes at the barbershop, huge Niners fan, and he just won't stop talking about Reuben Foster. The guy's good. Don't get it twisted, but damn. These 49ers fans, boy, all they've been doing is hyping up Reuben Foster. Cam throws it earlier and further, and Tartt can't get there. My point exactly. So, whose fault is that? Because Cam threw it the way that he did, it's double coverage. If Cam puts it out there further, maybe KB is able to go up and make a play. Maybe Tart doesn't get there, but he didn't. So it's double coverage. It was 2 defenders there converging on the football. That's double coverage. And again, that's partly because I think Cam isn't healthy. You say he's rusty. I say he's not healthy. We'll see. T-Money also says, yeah, Curtis doesn't have a role, and Russell Shepard took his role. Yeah, I don't think he has one yet. He's a dynamic athlete. And this was the big issue. A lot of people say, why aren't you guys talking more about Curtis Samuel? First of all, I never trust a man with 2 first names. You could look at that as 2 last names. I look at it as 2 first names because I don't trust him. Second of all, he didn't have a position. You know, you always are wary of these Percival Harvin, Tavon Austin, Curtis Samuel types. Because in a traditional offense, they don't have a place. Then you find yourself trying to create offense for these guys, and generally, it doesn't work out. Like, I'm looking at Tavon Austin in Los Angeles right now, and Sean McVay really doesn't have a big use for him. Like, he's trying to figure out ways to get him involved, jet sweeps and things of that nature. But Tavon caught 58 balls last year. I don't think he's going to even come close to that this year because he doesn't fit what Sean McVay wants to do. And I can see Curtis Samuel kind of being one of those guys where you got to manufacture offense for him. And I don't know if the Panthers are going to go out of their way to do so. But we'll see what happens. In any event, that's going to do it for Panthers at Niners. Panthers get the win 23-3, dominate the football game defensively, do enough on offense to separate themselves and win the game comfortably. Niners made way too many mistakes to win. And so it's back to the drawing board for Kyle Shanahan after his first NFL game as a head coach. He's got to be satisfied with some of the things he saw, but got to be really disappointed in the lack of execution by his players and a lot of the mistakes that they made in this ball game as they only were able to muster 3 whole points versus that Panthers defense. Panthers get the win 23-3, run their record to 1-0 on the season. 49ers drop to 0-1. That's going to do it for your man Louie T here on Lockdown Coverage. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Come back and join me for the recaps of not 1, but 2, both Monday night games. We'll start with Saints at Vikings, and then we'll come back and break down the Broncos hosting the Los Angeles Chargers in the nightcap. It's all going to be here on Monday Night Football overtime. So come back and join your man Louie T as I continue to comb over the entire first week of action in the National Football League. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy Monday Night Football. This is the only doubleheader on Monday night we'll get all season. I'm lying. We get a doubleheader on Christmas, but it's not a nighttime doubleheader. But nonetheless, enjoy the doubleheader. I'll see you after the first one. Come back and see me. Have a good one.